Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on mysterious and weird, true stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Case file number 725, written by, I don't know, the second pair of perfect jeans. We all have that favorite pair of jeans. You know the one I'm talking about. They fit perfectly and are the first thing you wear after laundry day. Last time I was in Miami, I found mine. They make my butt look amazing and fit like a glove. I literally love them and hate myself for not getting two when I found them. I just got back home from a long trip, and of course I wore them on my flight back. Yesterday, I did laundry, and this morning I was excited to wear them. I went out to run some errands, and after getting back, I was looking for something when I found a pair of jeans thrown in one of the cabinets. I thought it was weird because I remembered putting them on this morning. That's when I looked down and saw I was wearing the same pair of jeans. The weird thing is that they are identical, same brand, same size, same shade, and they're even folded the same way I would. That's what freaked me out. See, I never used to fold my pants, but on this trip I found a pair of flats and decided to fold my jeans to see how they would look, and since it looked good, I just left them like that. So now I have two pairs of my favorite jeans, and while it's still very strange, I'm not going to complain. It's just odd. Where did they come from? Creepy file number 42, written by rybodatkid, the Lightbulb Intruder. Hi everyone. I've been in my family's new house alone for a few weeks now. My family moved here about 3 weeks ago. It's a really cool house. It's pretty spacious for where it's at. It's got cool features like super nice Wi-Fi, a pool with a slide, and a door system with a passcode lock. It's by far the coolest house I've ever lived in. Anyways, I haven't had a lot of irrational fear in my life. I believe in ghosts and spirits, but I've never had first-hand encounters with them. I think most stories people tell aren't real, and I wonder if mine even is. I don't know if it is, but I figured I would share some details. The first night I got here, I had to take a 5-hour flight, so I was pretty tired by the time I got home. When I got to the new house, I looked around for a little bit, called my dad. He told me which one was my room, and I came in and went to sleep. I woke up at like 3 a.m. with my door wide open and lights on all over the house that I hadn't turned on myself. I was pretty sure I had turned at least some of the lights off, so I was kind of anxious, but I also figured it could have just been my mind making it up since I was so tired. I got up, turned off the hallway light, closed the door, and turned off the light in my room. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't want to go all around the house because I'm kind of a wuss. The next day, I had no problems. I bought a pizza and chilled out by the pool. I was loving living in this mini mansion by myself. A few more days went by, and one night, I was watching Moon Knight in my living room when I fell asleep on the couch. I woke up naturally at about 2 a.m. on the recliner chair. The lights were off this time rather than on, and I knew I had left them on. I sat there for a moment and then realized there was something moving in the kitchen. I watched in terror as I saw a bald man walking across the kitchen. He had an abnormally large head, almost like a light bulb with his grinning smile. The room was illuminated only by the glass screen door to the right of the kitchen. He just started walking back and forth throughout my kitchen. My heart was pounding. My phone was dead because I fell asleep and I just stared, holding my breath, holding myself completely still, doing my best to hold back my shivers. He kept walking back and forth, opening drawers. He did this for about 10 minutes until he looked over at me and then walked out of the house. When he left, I sprinted upstairs and looked outside, only to see nothing. I figured it was a dream. I went downstairs and checked the door. Yep, the automatic lock is good. There is no way anyone could have gotten in or out. At midnight, my passcode lock refuses entry, and you have to have the physical key to get in. I chalked it up to a hallucination and went to bed. The next night, I played some video games online with a buddy of mine. We were having fun until I walked down at about 11 p.m. only to see the front door wide open. I had left earlier to go get some food, but I remembered clearly closing it when I came home. I was unnerved by this, but still thought not a lot of it. I went to sleep at about 11 p.m. that night. I was sleeping normally until I woke up at 3 a.m. again to see the lights on outside my room. I swore I had turned them off. I heard footsteps outside walking up and down the hallway. I sat in horror again, lying in my bed trying not to make a noise. I had thought maybe someone had really gotten into the house when I had left the door open. However, the lights turned off and nobody left the house because I would have heard it out the window. So once again, I figured it was just my mind playing tricks on me. This brings us to last night. Well, more like this morning. Last night, I went out to get food again. When I left my house, I remembered closing the door and turning the lock on. I heard the click and I left. I ended up going to Five Guys, which, by the way, it's way too expensive for not very good food. Anyways, when I got home, I was mortified to see the door wide open. This time, I was highly scared. It couldn't be a dream. I snuck into my house, closed the door, and locked it. I went into my kitchen and grabbed one of those steak carving forks as a weapon and went through my house. I checked each room, turned on all the lights, and made sure no one could get out. I called my dad. No good. He didn't pick up. He is in New York, so he was already asleep. I hung out and waited for a while and figured I was just crazy again. I went upstairs and after an hour on my phone, I fell asleep. This morning, I woke up in a rush and saw the man standing in my doorway staring at me. The same man as before, only to sprint away when I got up to chase him. I got up and grabbed the steak fork again and ran after him down the hall for there to be nothing there. This is what prompted me to write this. I saw him in broad daylight and he responded to me following him and threatening him. I figure he is not real, something my mind is making up because I'm here alone. But has anyone had such vivid hallucinations like this? What do I do to stop having these? Also, I checked the carbon monoxide monitors and they seem fine. I replaced the batteries and everything is fine at the moment. From my understanding, it makes a beep noise when it detects a leak and it's not making anything. But I'm going to let it sit for a few hours as I leave the house. The more I think about it, the more I second guess my mental state because most of the stuff that happens when I leave or enter consciousness. However, the door stuff just freaks me out. I appreciate a lot of people's concerns. A lot of people tell me there may be something wrong with my head if I'm seeing such vivid hallucinations. You may be right, and this has been kind of eye-opening to look into my mentality. For the time being, if I'm going to buy cameras, I don't think I will. I believe what is causing this man to return to my dreams and hallucinations is me believing he is real, at least to some extent. Last night, I stayed up until about 4 a.m. Many people noted that whenever I see him, it's when I wake up. Last night, I didn't sleep, and he made no appearances. I checked the doors, and the only strange occurrence of the night was that my garage door was unlocked. But that one I'm more okay with pinning on myself than some mystery squatter. Everything stayed shut all night. Case notes for creepy file number 42, The Lightbulb Intruder. I think there's a lot more to this than simply hallucinations or a glitched out mental state. You already checked the carbon monoxide detector, which should always be in operation, and I highly recommend that everyone get one. You never know, it's an insidious killer. I do think there's more going on here than simply being crazy. You'd have to be full-on schizophrenic to be hallucinating this often and in such extreme ways, and also shutting on and off lights, opening doors without even realizing you're doing it. That's Tyler Durden level crazy. I don't think that's you. I mean, nothing wrong with getting checked out, but I do assume here that it's probably an entity or maybe some human intruder. But what kind of human intruder has a light bulb shaped head? Now maybe you applied that hallucination towards it? But why would he keep coming back if it's just a human being? What's the goal on that? Good question to ask. Personally, I do think it's probably some sort of entity. Maybe a trickster, just trying to torment you. Given how high-tech the home is, I can't imagine anything else. If it was just a human intruder, what could their motivation be? Just to play around with you? I haven't heard of that, especially over such a long period of time. I do highly recommend that you get cameras though. I don't know how long it'll be until your family comes to join you in the house. If it continues to happen when multiple people are there, and no one is mentioning anything about you walking around sleepwalking or acting differently, then I don't think it's you. I do think there's some sort of entity there. If lights start to flicker, if you feel odd in any way, then do pay attention. That said, I don't get the impression that you're in any danger, so at least there's that. Enjoy the high-tech home.